Okay, Act 5.
Not again.
Scene 8. Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword, whiles I see lives, the gashes, do better upon them? So Macbeth is thinking about what does that mean to die on my own sword? Kill himself. But he's still not especially worried because no man born of woman. Okay, and so he's like standing here having a little moment when Macduff comes in.
Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee. Get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Yeah.
We should actually make that. Oh,
Yeah, we should make sword.
Thou losest labor, as easy mayest thou the entrenchant air with thine keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crest. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. So Macbeth's like, just give it up. You're not going to kill me because I'm protected by the apparition, no man born of woman. And Macduff says,
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb unkindly ripped.
and so what does that mean? Well, I don't really know. But most, probably like with 99% sureness, I can say that during this time period, every baby was born naturally, right? There were no like cesareans. But it would seem that Macduff here did have a cesarean.
Nice.
Oh, like he was born of a cesarean. So, did the witches lie?
Nope.
I mean, I suppose it could be argued that if a woman does not actually go through the throes of labor, it doesn't actually count as a birth. Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in a double sense, and keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee. So he says, like, basically, screw the witches because they made me feel like I could trust them, do whatever I wanted, live forever, when actually they were lying to me. So he says, I'm not going to fight you.
Then yield thee, coward, and look to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rare monsters are, painted upon a pole and underwrit. Here may you see the tyrant.
So Macduff says, fine, then what does Macbeth have to do? Then yield, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. Surrender.
Give up his crown.
Give up your crown and be like on display or forever live with the sins that you've committed, and everybody will know it. I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough. And they fight, and they're like trumpet sounds. And it says they enter fighting, so they leave fighting. There's sounds. They come back on the stage, still fighting, and Macbeth is slain.
Nice.
Macduff exits, dragging Macbeth's body off the stage with him.
Yeah, like a valse. That's definitely going to come.
Enter with drum and colors, Malcolm, Seward, and Ross.
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid us soldiers dead. He only lived but till he was a man. The which no sooner had his prowess burned in the unshrinking station where he fought, like a man he died.
Then he is dead.
A. And brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
A. On the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hires, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so his knell is null.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Okay, so how does Seward feel about his son's death?
He died in honor.
Yeah, he died a noble and honorable death. As a captain, there's nothing more you could wish for your own son's death than to die serving. And so Malcolm says, we'll mourn his death later, and Seward says, no, knowing that he died is good in battle is good enough. And here comes Macduff, carrying Macbeth's head.
Convicted dictator.
Okay?
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the
Usurpers.
usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland.
Aw. Hail, King of Scotland. So finally, Malcolm can be
King.
addressed as king because Macbeth is now dead. And so we have the new king.
We shall not spend a large expensive time before we reckon with your several loves, and make us even with you, my thanes and kinsmen. Henceforth be earls the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as his thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned as Scone.
Okay, so Malcolm makes a couple announcements. What will be his first act as king? What's the first thing he wants to get accomplished as king?
Like honor the people who died in battle.
Yeah. So the first thing we need to do is honor those who have died. And now all these people who fought for him in this battle are all getting bumped up in their rank. So they're all becoming earls now. So it used to be in Scotland that the highest title was Thane. Now there's such a thing as Earl, so introduced by Malcolm as a reward for the soldiers, the nobility who fought with him. And then he says, what's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of tyranny.
So I can bring home that home.
Yep. All the Scottish people who fled, including his own brother, getting them all back to Scotland. And what happened to Lady Macbeth?
She killed her.
Yep. Killed herself. And so now they'll go to Scone, which is the church where they are crowned, and there will be a new king.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. Bye, Felicia.